really, I think there's still a lot of dark corners in our system for the cockroaches to hide, and decentralized technologies are the flashlight. So this is a thing that's very close to my heart. I think the reason that I came all the way across the world to work here when I had this opportunity is because I believe blockchain is such a central part of changing the world, and I really do believe it's a keystone. It's part of a broader, if blockchain is the keystone, it's part of a broader arch which is decentralization, and the decentralization of all kinds of systems, of social media, of voting in public elections, all kinds of things that have been controlled in very central points that now we're going to start to see organically controlled by all the different participants, all the people who have some kind of stake in how their government is run, how science is conducted and the results are indicated, how their legal transactions are processed, how court filings are done. Really, I think there's still a lot of dark corners in our system for the cockroaches to hide, and decentralized technologies are the flashlight that is going to cause them to have to scatter, because we're going to be able to see everything, and we're going to be able to figure out who's abusing their power, and even more importantly, at a mathematical level, remove their ability to abuse their power on the network. So to me, that's the big promise that blockchain is a part of for how the world changes from where it is today.
All right. And how do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
I personally think there will be, this is a complicated question actually, because as I mentioned, blockchain and other related decentralized technologies threaten certain key points of power that are held by governments and large corporations and things like that. For the same reason, companies that want to apply blockchain, by doing so, are potentially threatening their own power that they may wield that way. And there's a potential conflict of interest. I do think that blockchain is going to be taken up more by the business world, but I think before that happens in full, there has to be a shift of ideology, a shift of belief system within the business world towards the way to do business in the future is to provide this transparency and user control, rather than the way to do business in the future is to keep the reins and try to keep as much control over our system as possible. I think that as we see that shift in thinking start to take over more businesses, we'll eventually see a ballooning of the adoption of blockchain and related decentralized technologies.
How do you envision blockchain changing the world?
For sure, blockchain, as I was saying, is the next big revolution or is the starting point to the centralized system, to get rid of central parties, to get rid of centralized control. So that's for sure a big step into the future of information technology.
And how do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
Yes, as everything is moving toward the centralized aspect, most of the applications we use online today are moving toward the centralized system. So blockchain, or the future of what the decentralized technology will be beside blockchain, are for sure the hot aspect of IT in this moment. And as things are going very well in blockchain too, we can well say that is a real good market to be in at the moment.
How do you envision blockchain changing the world?
I believe blockchain technology, as the blockchain that underlies the Bitcoin network, is already changing the world. It's given citizens who are in countries like Venezuela and Argentina, that maybe their central bank has inflated their currency way too much. It gives them another option. It gives them the option to be self-sovereign. It gives them the option to invest in a cryptocurrency that they know the inflation schedule. And even though throughout 2018 the price of Bitcoin was dropping, it still maintained its value better than the Venezuelan bolivar.
And how do you think the market for blockchain-based solutions will evolve?
If we look at the historical trends of markets and technology, typically what happens is it converges to a point of winner takes all. It's why we have one Google operating as the dominant search engine. It's why with our social media, Facebook is by far dominant. I believe blockchain will converge in a similar manner. We will have a decentralized protocol that has all the key features in it, And then all the developers and all the business people will be focusing on building upon that. Because if you think about it, any real actual innovation on smaller blockchains can be incorporated into the bigger ones. So I believe a handful of players will capture the majority of the market.